Okay, time to press every statement? Probably. I don't think I'm gonna have to actually prove anything wrong here. Because it's too loony. Not to mention I have no evidence related to this. In your head, I'm sure he is. Just hear me out, will you? I am, and it's not making much sense. This is what I've been investigating for these past 5 years. And you've done a bang-up job of it, don't worry. Listen to me already, will you? I had only one objective from the beginning. Show that the Leviathan exists. And what was the connection? It was, frankly, flimsy from the beginning. In a span of just a few months, about 7 people were found dead. Cause of death was, by all appearances, suicide. The circumstances, however, were violently similar. All the victims had shot themselves with a pistol. They were found in perfectly locked rooms, much like Mr. Butts. There was seemingly no reason for the suicide. Upon questioning, none of the friends or family could pinpoint anything, suggesting they would commit suicide. They were always sitting comfortably in a chair. The last reason is somewhat pathetic, you know. I mean, people usually sit down before committing suicide. Well, in any case, considering the rate and the circumstances, I couldn't just ignore it. You could have if you had accepted it as the coincidence that it was. No! This is no coincidence. In addition to all of these things, one more peculiar object was always found in all of the scenes. It was found at the scene of Mr. Butts' murder as well. Was it now? Yes, and I believe that object holds the key to the Leviathan's trick. It should take too long for you to figure out what it was after you discovered their identity. Speaking of which... And how does he do that? It's a trick, of course. A very sophisticated and devious one, but a trick nevertheless. And what is it? That's heavily tied to their identity, admittedly. Well then, who is the Leviathan? In due time. By the time I'm done giving out the outline in this case, you should be quite aware of who it is, Apollo. Sounds like a stalling to me. It would be quite a sad method of doing so if it was. Whatever, let's see this through. What about the motive? The motives for these killings, I'm afraid I do not even know. Even now. What a surprise. To be fair, serial killers often don't need a motive. At least not one that requires them to kill specific people. It's usually trauma of some kind that pushes them forward. Good to know that you're so educated on the matter. You of all people should know that our line of work is filled with people like that. Of course. And it's perhaps because you've seen so many of those kinds of people, that you've given into this delusion. Save your breath, we've heard you already. So fine, you don't know the motive, whatever. What's the part you do know then? Their face. So you're saying that Mr. Butts is the Leviathan's victim. The first in years. So essentially, whenever a suicide of a specific type occurs, it must be the Leviathan, right? No. I have a very good reason for suspecting that Leviathan is connected to Mr. Butts. It's related to identity. Yeah, I figured that much out. So here's the $1,000,000 question. Who are they? I'll get to that. All you need to know for now is that the Leviathan visited Mr. Butts. And he did not so on merely on occasion. From this knowledge, I've been able to deduce the method he uses to commit the murders. Really? Well, that's fascinating. I'm gonna check the crime scene info. We got names here. Like, I've said them before, but I'll say them again. Elizabeth Short, Ellie Brown, Adam Brown, Joseph Litz, Reese Justice, Michael Black Grimoire, in parentheses, Jonathan P., Answer Sloan. So knowing all of that, what did you do next? And after looking back on everything, I realized the shocking truth. Come on, say it. I dare you to say it. Come on! We've come this far, haven't we? Spit on the grave some more. I dare you. I double dare you, mother... Apollo! I don't know why I even care anymore, to be honest. Just go on. I'm sorry. No, you're not. The truth is, the Leviathan killed my wife and masked it as a suicide. No, I refuse to even acknowledge something like that. Screw him. Screw his Leviathan. This is all nonsense. And I've allowed this charade to actually keep going on. My god, how many people have I accused of murder today? How many times have I actually unknowingly given in to this madman's delusion? What have I been doing all this time? Apollo. The trial was conducted for the sake of eliminating alternate possibilities. What, you couldn't figure it out on your own? So you decided to use me, is that it? I couldn't leave any space for doubt. I had to make sure that the conditions were exactly, truly the same. There was a chance that this was all a coincidence. Coming from a man looking at nothing but coincidences. A chance that despite the connection, the killer was still someone else. But now I know the truth! Truth, and nothing but the truth! This is lasting so much longer than I expected, but I think we're near the end now. Now I know that it really was him! Now only one path remains, to the Leviathan. And how do I walk this path, It's simple. I tell you who the Leviathan is. Well, I'm actually interested. I want to know. Is it going to be someone new? 5 years ago, I cheated. Okay, I cheated on my wife. This, some believe, led to her death. And it did. But not in a way anyone would have imagined. I actually wasn't caught up on that technical aspect of Ares, that he cheated on his wife. I don't remember that. I should have figured, though, considering the way Apollo acts around him. That woman, my lover. No! Thalassa? Was Leviathan. So it wasn't a him, it was a her. Ares. You kidding me? Or are you kidding me? Sorry. Do you honestly expect anyone to believe this crap? This fantasy of yours? Did I seriously give you the benefit of the doubt to have you dig this fiction deeper? Did I seriously listen to this delusion? No! No, Mr. Justice! Screw you! Screw this! I'm done. You hear me? I'm done! Done! Rot in hell, you old man! The defense rests. Bring the goddamn verdict. Apollo! Shut up! I'm out of here! Well then. I assumed it was Thalassa, but she's actually just a good family friend. A talented illusionist. Actually, it's probably her. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably her. Since Mr. Justice has left, I'm sorry, Ares, but it's over. I was willing to go along with this to a degree, but this is too much. This isn't a movie or a game. Not everything is connected. You're living a fantasy. I think you should get help. Don't tell me what to do with my own damn life. I suppose all that remains now, since Mr. Justice is now gone, is for me to hand down my verdict. I am sorry, Chief Prosecutor. Don't look at me like that. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, on the charges of suicide. Guilty. That's weird. That is all. This court is adjourned. This is how it's gonna end, huh? I'm sorry, Apollo. I'm so sorry. I bet you must be laughing pretty hard right about now. Ah, you know. Just a little. For you to crash and burn like that, it really was something. Well, Ares? Shall we play? I was just about to ask you that question. State your name and occupation for the court. Thalassa Grammari, magician, entertainer. Leviathan. If you say so. I always liked that name for some reason. You've always picked a good nicknames for me. You said you had a theory as to how the Leviathan committed his murders? It's not a theory anymore. With Butts' death, it became practically a fact. Did it now? Well, I'm just dying to see what you figured out. I really am. I figured out a lot, Thalassa. And after this long journey, I now know the truth. I cannot say the truth right now for some reason. Sometimes. You mean just like Apollo thought he reached the truth so many times today? Is that the kind of truth you've reached? They say you're delusional. You know, I thought they would the moment you told me about this trial. So, you knew my intentions from the beginning. The fact that you specifically called me and then invited me to watch this little event, well, it painted a certain picture, you know. I suppose I was never one for being subtle. No, you weren't. Why? Why did you do all this? Hey now, aren't you jumping ahead? The motive always comes at the end, don't you know? Besides, you have yet to show me exactly how this Leviathan can even exist. I'll show you. Through Butts' murder. Really now? Well, we'll see. I hope you do better than your son. So now I'm playing as Ares? Okay. The culprit, if one exists, that is, must have killed Larry Butts directly. That is, they must have been in the room with him to pull the trigger. The only way to cause his death would have been if I passed through walls. You can assume that an indirect method was used, but that's impossible. In any case, I don't see any reason for me to even be the culprit here. I have absolutely no connection with Mr. Butts, after all. Your entire accusation is absolutely unfounded. Well, the connection here is very obvious. She hosts a radio show about magic, and Larry Butts listens to radio dramas. Or the radio, at least. Speechless already? No. Just sad, I suppose. Sad that I allowed myself to stumble in the darkness for so long. Let's finish this. Okay. You cost me everything I had. It's time for me to show the twisted trick that you tried to hide so well. I'll expose the demon within you. I have to take a quick break. Or more specifically, I have to eat, so... I'm actually going to leave the video recording. Hold on a moment. Okay, I'm back, and I'm looking at the evidence right here. We got the prosecutor's badge and all of the evidence Apollo had. This feels really weird. My son, he hates me, and has good reason to. I failed to show him the truth. That's me, I'm the chief prosecutor, but that's really not so relevant in the long run. I'm the person that's been on the Leviathan's trail all these years, and I'm so close, I know I am. Oh god, what a weird case. Okay, let's start pressing. Hopefully that'll work. I loved you once, you know. I know, Ares. After all, I loved you too. Did you? Did you really? Or was I just a tool, a means to an end? I suppose it doesn't matter. It's my mistake that I allowed myself to get involved with someone like you. Bad luck, some would say. Perhaps it was bad luck. But it was still my fault in the end. I didn't resist you creeping into my brain and way of thinking like you do with everyone. Why did I gain health? That never happens in Ace Attorney games. I betrayed a woman I could have been truly happy with. No, the woman I was truly happy with. Until I met you, that is. Well, no more. I'm going to end this. Once and for all.
Hold it!
Apollo hates me. With all his heart and soul. As he should. The mistake was, in the end, mine. He said he hated me even before everything that happened. I suppose it serves me right. More health. Oh, wow, okay. Press statements to regain health. I always was caught up in my work. Did I ever tell him I loved him? Did I ever tell her I loved her? I don't even remember if I cried during her funeral. Had I fallen that low, Thalassa?
Hold it!
Let me ask you a question. You don't see chief prosecutors walking around and about during investigations. What do you think that is, Thalassa? I wouldn't know. I think it's because we're so hell-bent on success and work that we no longer want fresh air. Whatever breath of life we had in us, it disappeared. Whatever capacity of true love we had in us, it too disappeared. I thought I was different. I wanted more. I thought I could have more. You deserved more. But that's the thing. I didn't. None of us really deserve more. We can only assume we do. Assume it belongs to us. So we can fight for the things we think should be ours. But ignore the things we already have. Does that make sense to you? No, it doesn't. How are we supposed to progress if we don't want more? More knowledge, more understanding. Knowledge is a good thing, but it eventually corrupts. So we should all be brainless simpletons, according to you? We should be... I don't know what we should be. Who am I to say something like that? Right now, a man now left to what people call his delusions. And yet, I'm still here. I'm still fighting. No longer for the things that I want to be mine, but for the things I've lost. My wife, my son, myself. I want this to end. And it will end. One way or another.
Hold it!
Even when everyone left me, strangely, Franziska was always there for me. Strangely enough. Ha! What, you think she's in love with you or something? No. But I do think she's the only friend I have left. Because she understood. She was through me in a flash. She saw the wounds on me. The wounds are deep, Thalassa. And yet, I know they'll heal. Are you sure about that? I have no choice. Okay. Sometimes I wonder why I even bothered so much. Why I kept pushing on and on. Why I couldn't just make peace with what happened and move on. I tell myself it's probably the guilt. But I think the answer is a lot simpler than that. Oh? It was the loneliness. Loneliness that gave birth to lack of meaning. My whole life's work had become trying to chase you down. Everything I am now is a result of that. And I am arguably very little. Truth be told, chances are my role as chief prosecutor is just about done. But that's okay, I'm fine with that. I've been fine with it for a long time. It's not about your profession, or where you live, or how you look. It's about being happy. And once you're gone, I'll finally be happy again.
Hold it!
I suppose it was foolish of me to expect that a trial would culminate with this confrontation. I suppose it was. I mean, if you are going to suggest that what I suspect you are going to suggest, it will never hold up in court. Perhaps, perhaps not. You know, you keep talking about wanting to finish this, but how exactly will you put me away, I wonder? Well, you'll cross that bridge when you get to it, I suppose. No, I've already crossed it. You just don't know it yet.
Hold it!
You said I gave you nicknames and that you liked them. They were very special to me, yes. What were they? There was one that stuck out in my memory for quite a while, you know. Grimoire. Grimoire. Thalassa Grimoire. It sounds good, wouldn't you say? It does. It does indeed. No more playing around. The truth is, I can't beat this testimony. Not like this, anyway. My solution cannot be presented simply with one piece of evidence. And yet at the same time, a super objection won't do. No, what I need is more. I need a supra objection. Object to all the statements. Separate the truth from lies. And finally bring this to a close. It's been a while, but the way it works is like this. I first examine each of her statements and determine which ones are the truth and which ones are lies. After that, I present the pieces of evidence that expose and break down the lies. Not sure how many I'll need, but I should keep it simple. Stick to the facts of what I'm trying to show. I'll probably have only one chance. One chance to end this. That's all I need. All I'll need. So the only thing I've ever really needed, really, whatever. Let's do this. A chance. I'll make the best of it. I promise. I'll go over the testimony one more to make sure that it's all in place. Then I'll end this. Okay, let's initiate right now. I'm gonna save.
Hold it.
Wait, I guess I have to present. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have to go through everything. Time for the supra objection. Here it goes. I already made a key save, no worries. There's only one thing I need to do. Expose her trick. How did she murder Larry Butts? How did she murder all of them? The answer has been the evidence since the beginning. Now, to show it! Oh, I have to present something, I think. Or no, never mind. I thought it was just the music getting hyped up. Lie. That has to be a lie. No, that's a lie too. No, that's impossible. Come on. No, that's totally possible. Is everything gonna be a lie? I think in this rate it's all gonna be a lie. Yes, there is evidence. The crime scene info. I have absolutely no connection with Mr. Butts. After all, yes, you do. Well, this is actually technically kind of truth, but I think it's gonna be a lie. All of it is a lie. Crime scene info. Probably more. Hold on. I initiated it. Not sure if I did it correctly. I added Thalassa. Objection. You lose. Everything you just said has been nothing but a pathetic lie. How fitting for a pathetic killer such as yourself. Oh, changing your tone with me now, are you? I've had enough of games, Thalassa. Go back into those depths of yours and never return. I know your trick. I know everything. You visited Larry Butts, representing yourself as a client. You visited him for a long time, didn't you, Grimoire? You visited him for a long time. Carefully putting the thoughts you wanted him to think into his head. Until finally, he was almost completely under your control. After all, you are a magician, a mentalist, a hypnotist. Some people don't believe in hypnosis. I'm not one of those people. I've seen your handiwork. You know what? I'm willing to bet that he got the gun from you. It doesn't matter, really. What does matter is that what you told him. Tune in to my show if you want. I bet you told him something like that, right? Of course, it probably wasn't his choice. He was under such an influence that he practically couldn't refuse. This is getting ridiculous, but let's go with it. See, Apollo did make a misassumption earlier. He really did turn on his radio that night, but it wasn't for his radio dramas. It was for your show. And that is what cost him his life. During the show, I suspected you set off the trigger. Activated your kill switch, if you will. By that time, he was gone, and you had control. And, well, he did what he was programmed to do. He took out a gun and shot himself. That's technically not murder. Apparently that was the right thing. Oh, wow. It was the right thing. Okay. I thought I was gonna have to present Larry Butts instead of Thalassa, but the thing is, they both say something about radio, and Thalassa's profile is the one that specifically mentions the radio show, which is what I wanted to do. Ares, nobody can convict me for something like that. They are still the ones who pull the trigger. And hypnosis can't exactly be considered a valid method of murder, now can it? Not in the court of law, at least. You're right. You're absolutely right. What a waste of time. Let me guess. This is the part where you shoot her, right? In a true Shakespearean tragedy end, I mean. Oh, welcome back, Apollo. I suppose it would be a fitting end for a guy like you. Apollo! Well, guess the whole family's together now. Oh, I don't know about that. Judging by how well things were going between you two, you never really were much of a family, were you, Thalassa? How long have you been here? Long enough. That is, long enough to witness you screwing with him. What? She isn't the Leviathan.
Objection!
She is! Everything she said so far has been a complete lie. She was telling you what you wanted to hear. I wanted to see if you would truly find the peace you seek if you caught your Leviathan.
Objection!
No, you're lying! You're manipulating him. You're trying to manipulate me. I'm not insane. I'm not crazy, I swear! You're all crazy! Calm down, Dad. Dad? First off, your theory is straight up impossible. Mainly because on November 3rd, Thalassa had a show, but not a radio one. It was the one as part of Moe's big circus. But the name on this list, Grimoire. It's not me, Ares. Plus, I think Mr. Butts would have requested actual IDs before signing his customers on. Or kept something that resembled their real name. What the hell? Yeah, you didn't really think that one through, did you? No. I refuse to believe this. The Leviathan, all these years, for nothing? I told you to calm down. Did we, something else add? Well, I'm playing as Apollo now. Damn, he really is falling apart here. I didn't know it was this bad. You weren't actually in the wrong. After I stepped out of the courtroom, I gave everything some thought, and there was something that seemed kind of odd. So I decided to look into it a bit more. I asked Miss Von Karma about the names of the supposed Leviathan victims. And there was a connection, after all. And it's connection established by evidence. And from it, well... Dad, I don't believe that anyone physically or even indirectly murdered these people, but there does exist a Leviathan of sorts. Just, it's not the one you imagined. I don't understand. Well, admittedly, it's speculation on my part, but here it goes. The piece of evidence that connects the Leviathan victims is... crime scene info, I guess? And from that, your Leviathan becomes obvious. I'm just looking up what is going on right now. Like, there are a bunch of names here. Maybe it's all the victims? Except... No? Oh, wait, is it Larry? Because he was a medium, supposedly. This really is the best I can do. Again, it's speculation, but if you look at the people who visited Mr. Butts, his clients, you'll find that all of them... They were... Okay, where does it point that out? It doesn't say it anywhere. I assumed it, but I would have liked some evidence. Whatever. We're the victims of the Leviathan. How the hell did I miss that? I suppose I just got so stuck on Grimoire that I... Now, what's important here is the number of times they visited. Remember, Butts was a supposed medium, but let's face it, that's all hogwash. Usually they just extract information using cold or hot reading. That is, being vague and getting their customers to fill in the blanks. My butts is probably no different. It's possible, in terms of technique, yeah. It's possible, given how much these people visited, that he learned about them so much that he took advantage of the information. Or maybe the customers grew wise to the act. Maybe they realized they spent all that money on nothing. Maybe they'd all fallen into debt. The sessions were quite expensive. I mean, you probably wouldn't know, because you actually lied on how many times you visited him over the years. Only 2 times or 3 times? Yeah, 3 times. It was a small lie if it managed to convince you to take the case. I'm sure that his logic was that I would take pity on the victim being a friend or whatever, but it didn't really do it for me. Anyway, it's possible that any of these things led them to take their lives. Essentially, yes. But if that's the case, Dad, there's a name that isn't on this list. Your mother's. I'm sorry, Ares. And I apologize to you as well, Apollo. The part about me and about me and your father. Obviously wasn't an act, yeah. Awkward. But this means that she... Oh God, no! No, no, no! Wow. You cheated on your wife and she killed herself for it, and yeah, it was all because of you. Well, this is an interesting end to it. I like it because it's the obvious thing, but the way it went about such a roundabout way to doing it, it kind of works, you know? And Apollo forgives him. I didn't know things were like this. Oh God. It's okay. Everything is going to be okay. Yeah, so the father really was crazy. I mean, that's such a... I like that it ended up like this, in a sense. But I can also see some people being unsatisfied that all of this was in fact a waste of time. Your rather arrogant smirk tells me you already have a pretty good idea why. Be more humble. Damn it. The chest finally went back to normal too. It's about Ares. What about him? I wanted to thank you for stopping me on my way out of the courthouse and telling me to go back. It was hardly appropriate for a defense attorney to leave during his own trial. Yes, your whip got that message across quite well. I didn't really know that he was doing as bad as he really was. Did you not accuse him of being delusional yourself? No. I accused him of being selfish. And to a point he was. But seeing him that desperate and broken, I don't know what you think of him. That is none of my business. But I can tell you that your mother's death hurt him deeply in that time. It's clear that you had a rather specific picture in mind when you thought of him. Had, yes. I put all the blame for what happened on him. Kept hating him, until eventually I forgot about the man altogether. All that remained was his mistake. And how has that image changed? Well, I've told him I've forgiven him. I haven't. Forgiveness never comes that cheap, but I've realized that there is no point in hating him forever. That's just another way to live in the past. That's what destroyed him. I think it destroyed me as well. He's my father. I'm already a parent down. What's the point in losing another one? I'll give him a chance. And hopefully he doesn't live up to my imagination. Hopefully. We'll both learn to let go. Yeah, I like the realistic ending. It's hard to explain because I'm still playing it, but I like the ending. First impression. I like that it ended up like this because it's the most dramatic and less... Like, it would have been ridiculous if it had actually been those 4 people, you know? Like, obviously there's some holes in their testimony. I'm not sure how those are going to be explained later. Maybe they actually did have him kill himself, but... the thing is, Ares not actually finding and figure out the Leviathan after all these years, because there clearly was none to begin with, was cool. Kinda. It's a twist! What a twist. You actually caught me at the right time. I found myself with 2 empty glasses and a bottle of grape juice. Grape juice? It was a gift from someone. Shall we make a toast? Lord knows I won't open the thing on another occasion. Sure, to what though? Well, considering everything. To a brand new day. Yes, a brand new day indeed. That's it? I actually was expecting one more twist, actually. Yep. Wow. Okay, that was intense. A lot of typos, unfortunately, and my sprite being glitched like that was kind of bothersome, but I enjoyed it. The fact that you could never actually figure out what sort of kind of what happened in the end because it was so obvious, and Ace Attorney games tend to make things out to be ridiculously contrived. I liked it. That's all there is to it. Maybe I could properly explain myself in the comment section or description, but I liked this turnabout. It was difficult though. Let's not kid ourselves. 2 pieces of evidence for every possible statement? Ugh, that was something else. Anyway, yeah, that's literally it. It's the end. There's nothing else. Hope you've all enjoyed this long case, and I'll have a very nice day. Bye-bye!